Hey YouTube, welcome back. This is Dragonology99 with part 2 of looking at exceeds and stuff. First I want to clarify a few things. This guy is actually not a sea serpent, he's an aqua. Not sure why, but either way he's not a dragon, so that shouldn't be much of a concern. Just wanted to clarify that. Another thing I wanted to clarify is if you have your exceed monster, say with its little materials under it, and your opponent has a dimensional fissure on the field. If your exceed monster gets destroyed, or it sends its materials to the graveyard, or it just removes its materials, the materials will go to the graveyard, because they are no longer treated as monsters, and they're also no longer treated as being on the field. So, there's that. For some reason, Konami, even though they're not on the field, if your opponent has Banisher or Macrocosmos on the field, if their materials get removed, or if the monster gets destroyed and the materials consequently removed, they all get removed from play. So, just a little clarification there. So exceeds are also great against defissure for keeping your resources. Before we get back into the exceeds, I want to look at standard Disaster Dragon extra deck. We've got 5-headed, 2 Stardust, Trident, Ancient Fairy Dragon, Exploder Dragon Wing, very manly card, Scrap Dragon, or Dragon Archfiend, also manly, Black Rose, and Brownic. These are the staples. Everyone pretty much runs them. Some people cut down to 1 Stardust, but these are pretty much the staples. Other cards people like to tech in are Iron Chain, Cataster, Dark End, Colossal, Gungnir, that. Recently, in Hidden Arsenal 4, we got Trishula, which is another one, and Tech Genis High Librarian will be hitting us before the Exceeds do, so that'll be another spot in the extra. So, that would leave us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11, 12 for the Exceeds. No, for Trishula and Hyperlibrarian. So this leaves us with 3 spots. As I said earlier, we've got the little Sea Serpent dude and Revised Dragon are the 2 best Exceeds for Disaster Dragon to be running. This leaves you with another tech spot for one of these, Thought Ruler, Draconite Quest, another Exceed, what have you. So basically, we pretty much have very little space, but we do have room for the Exceed monsters, these 2, which is good, that we'll have a way to fit those in. So, the rest of the Exceeds that I haven't covered yet, there's another rank 3. This guy's called number 34, Electronic Computer Beast Terabyte. A very funny pun, I know. 0 attack, 2900 defense, and his effect is once per turn, you can remove 1 Exceed material monster from this card to select 1 face-up level 4 low attack position monster your opponent controls and gain control of that monster until the end phase. Now what's special about him is he requires 3 level 3 monsters as opposed to the normal 2. So he is a little harder to summon, and you do use much more resources in the summon of him. But he steals your opponent's monsters, so that's good. And even if it is just for the turn, they can attack, they can sink, they can be tributed, what have you, blown up with Scrap Dragon, etc. And 2900 isn't going to be run over by much. Certainly not anything ran in this meta. But 3 level 3 Exceeds, so you might be seeing some of those. The others are the level 4s that I took notice of. The first one here is Steel Swarm Roach. It's part of the Steel Swarm archetype, which is, I believe, part of the dual terminal that we haven't gotten yet. I have seen them in Tag Force 5. They're basically centered around tribute summoning their monsters. and they have their own little tree-born frog, which is cool. But this guy is a generic rank 4 exceed, 2 level 4 exceeds, and he's 1900 attack, 0 defense. When your opponent special summons a level 5 or higher monster, you can remove an exceed material monster to negate that special summon. So he basically does the same thing Thunder King does, except for he doesn't hit anything that's 4 or lower, and it's level, so it doesn't hit any of the exceeds. But it is a good, it doesn't have to send itself to the grave like Thunder King does, so you can use its effect multiple times. And it's good for a lockdown element, because it's so generic. Summon it if your opponent can't run it over, because it's 1900. Then they won't be able to special summon anything outside of Monster Reborn or other special summon cards they might be running. But pretty good generic exceed there. The other one here is the one that has everyone screaming for Ultimate Offering to be banned and for gadgets to be really, really good. His name is Mainspring, right? Yeah, Mainspring Armored Zenmeister. He's 1900 attack, 1500 defense, 4 rank 4 exceed machine earth. His effect is it gains 300 attack for each exceed material, so he starts off with 2500 attack total. And once per turn, you can move 1 exceed material to select 1 face-up monster in the field and flip it face down. During the end phase, it's flipped into face-up attack position. So basically a Book of Moon replacement. Yeah, although it works a lot more like Book of Eclipse without the draw. It's good in Disaster Dragon specifically because you can use it with Red Eyes if you choose to run this. It's not that hard, it's Earth, so you can even use Drago to summon it out. But basically, use Red Eyes' effect, summon something, flip Red Eyes with the effect, flip summon that Red Eyes, and then you can use his ignition effect again. Not only that, but you can you can flip Drago, or you can just use it offensively and flip opponent's monsters so you can run them over. So that might be something to look in for. It is 2 level 4 generic, so a possible contender for that tech spot for Disaster Dragon. Definitely excellent in gadgets. And the last one is the Vylon boss monster. It also requires 3 monsters, 3 level 4s, so it's rank 4. It's sort of like Catastor and Relinquished all in one. It's a light type, a light fairy. Okay, its effects are as follows. Once per turn, you can remove 1 exceed monster from this card to select 1 face-up attack position effect monster your opponent controls and equip it to this card as an equip card. So there's the Relinquished effect. You remove material to steal an opponent's monster and equip it. When this monster battles a monster that has the same attribute as the equipped monster, destroy it immediately, like Catastor's. So, yeah. So, you know, there's the Relinquished Catastor. It's really good because most decks run the same type. So if you take that monster, then you have a Catastor against that type, such as Gravekeepers. Catastor doesn't work on dark types, but this would work on dark types. So, I think there's one more effect. When the card battles mine, destroy this and destroy the damage check. Once per turn, you can move the line with this card. It says there's a continuous effect on the wiki. I'm not sure which one that is. But this is definitely another one to look out for. Those guys. So, basically, that is what I found out about Exceeds. They're going to be pretty cool. The whole avoiding dimensional fissure, reusing Totem Dragon and such is going to be a pretty cool addition to the game. And the black backgrounds with the ranks look a lot like Dark Synchros, which I always thought looked pretty cool.